Hi Taurus, welcome to your week ahead tarot with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, these readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. Remember to check out all three so you know which part of you I resonate with most as a reader. For your key to the week this week, you have... Dun, dun, dun. The Hanged Man. All right, so take your time. Slow and steady is going to win the race this week. And it also suggests that in all of these different areas of life, life itself is going to show you where it is that you need to sit still because there are messages to be gleaned. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my deck of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. Now, the other thing that I want to say to you is the Hanged Man energy, it has links to the Empress and various other energies as well. And one of the things that I want to say to you is when the Hanged Man shows up, it's often a message for you to sit still long enough for whatever it is that you're working towards or on to find you, right? There are times in life where we're not meant to work harder. We're not meant to go on a quest. We're not meant to search. We're just meant to sit still so that whatever it is that we've been chasing can actually catch up to us, right? This is one of those times I feel for a lot of you Taurians where you're going to realize that whatever it is that you're chasing, you've lapped it. All right, so like, I don't know if you've seen this, like, you know, when you see people racing and like one person goes all the way around and they lap that person. So they're like so far ahead of them. This week, whatever it is that you're chasing, I feel like you're already quite far ahead of it. And so rather than sort of working harder to catch up to it and lap it a second time, just sit your backside still for a minute and wait for life to catch up to you. All right, like this is a moment, and I have to say with this card and the Four of Swords, both of these cards are messages of waiting, patience and stillness. This is a moment to sit still, right? Especially if you're a bit unsure about where to go next or, you know, well, I've tried everything and you know, it seems to be eluding me. Sit still, all right? Take a moment, feel your inner essence, be present in and of yourself. Now, for your actions and options this week, you've got the Six of Swords. That's an interesting combo, right? Because this is a sit still card and this is a travel card. The Six of Swords is usually some form of travel. Very often it's overseas or long distance travel. So for those of you that have travel plans specifically for this week, I'm really sorry to say, but it's a potential that they are delayed in some way. If you have long distance travel plans for the future, as in ones that go into the latter end of this year, so we're in, as I'm recording this now, this is going to be for June, so let's say June, July, August, September, October, November. If you've got, for the end of the year, like anywhere around November to December, it's possible that there's hitches with those plans that maybe you haven't anticipated. So if you've got trips and things planned for the end of this year, go back and double check your arrangements and all the rest of it, because you may very well find that there's a hiccup there somewhere that you kind of hadn't realised. Now, more in the here and now, but in terms of the options that are available to you, the Six of Swords is really about improving the situation that you find yourself in. So this week, there are options or possibilities for you to enhance your lifescape by sitting still, by taking your time. There's nothing hurried or rushed about this energy this week, which is just the way that you like it. For your communications and conversations, you've got the Three of Cups. Love this, right? Three of Cups is a reunions card. Reunions, get-togethers, gathering with people that you know. You've got this with the Hanged Man. So if you are meeting friends or reconnecting with friends this week, it's possible that there's a delay of some sort. But there's also a possibility that some of the reconnections or the reunions that you have this week bring really profound answers to you, right? So again, you're not having to chase after anything. It's just a case of really kind of sitting still. You've got this with the Six of Swords. which means in some regard, a lot of you could be thinking about or planning some form of retreat for later on. Now, if I had to say later on, I would say probably around February of 2025. So whatever this is that you're talking about or planning, it is for much later, right? It's not even for this year. It's like February of, yeah, I would say like February of 2025. All right, so this is not for now. Okay, now when it comes to your those of you that are studying or in some form of academia, it looks like you're just having a really good time, right? It's kind of like that happy to be here, having a good time. It's like you're already kind of clocked off and school's not even out for summer. I ain't mad at ya, get into it, right? That's what this whole week seems to be about, really being in the presence of pleasure, whatever that might mean to you. Now, when it comes to those of you that are employed by somebody else, your Three of Cups, especially with the other cards here, if you're employed by someone else, find a way to make your colleagues your friends this week. So if somebody says, oh, a bunch of us from work are going out for drinks, go. If a bunch of, someone comes to you and says, oh, we're planning this retreat or we've got this going on. Now, I do have to be really honest with you. If you are going on like a journey or a travel or a retreat of some sort, and maybe even the drinks, it might be a little bit messy, right? It might be a bit messy. It might be a bit of a disaster, but it's going to be a fantastic bonding experience, right? So what I mean by this is, I'll never forget this. One time, I took a friend of mine that I worked. This was when I was the last job that I ever had. I took a friend of mine from work to spin class, and it was hilarious. Like literally, it was so funny because she was like, I was like, come on. She was like looking at the stairs, and she was like, Raf, I just can't. So she had to put one hand on the banister. And I propped her up with the other one to walk her down the stairs because she was just like, my legs have stopped working. Right? Okay, so it was a disaster and it didn't feel good at the moment, but we laughed about that for weeks after, and it was a really good way for us to bond. Another time, what I can't even think of, was like some really crazy stuff happened when we went out for drinks. And again, it was awful, right? But it was a really great bonding exercise. So if you get invited to things with the work lot outside of work, go. Even if it's a disaster, it will be something that really bonds you to your team, and that can be invaluable. When it comes to those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people that work for themselves, old clients could be coming back in, but the truth of the matter is, sit with it. While it might be like, yeah, this is great, this is money for my business, there seems to be a part of you that's like, I don't know, did I really enjoy working with you before? Or do I just want the money that you're bringing or the revenue that you're bringing my business? So you have to be really honest with yourself this week. And I think this is a part of what's going to create the right energy for you to bring the right people in. But this is a great card, right? It's a very celebratory kind of energy. When it comes to those of you that are retired and no longer working for any reason, get out, mix and mingle with your people. But I would say, because it's the Hanged Man, don't try to cross the streams, right? If you've got friends that are just friends that you do all of the mundane things, and that's wonderful and that's great, do that. If you try to speak to your mundane friends about the spiritual and vice versa, it's just not going to work, all right? So you have to be really honest and present with the crowd and the company that you're in. Okay, and that really is the way I think this week that you get past any sort of potential niggles. For your love and relations, you've got the World card. Okay, very, very interesting. So the World card is number 21. 2 and 1 gives you 3. You've got the Three of Cups, and then you've got the Hanged Man, which is number 12. 1 and 2 gives you 3. So technically you've got 3 threes here. So 3 threes represents a success. Now, for those of you that are partnered, married, or in long-term commitments, the relationship is going so good this week. You are feeling like you and your partner or you and your family are like a mini tribe. It just feels good. Nothing else needs to happen or needs to be done there. Things are just in a really good space. Enjoy it. Be in that pleasure. For those of you that are single and looking, and there's absolutely a possibility for you to connect with someone this week. Now, The characteristics of this person is that they're likely to have, there's going to be an age gap between you of at least 5 years, right? Now, what's really interesting about this is there might be an element of this where you feel kind of almost like it's like, I know this person. I don't know them, I've never met them, but I feel like I just really know them. This is going to be like a soul knowing, right? So whoever this person is that's coming in that you're connecting with this week, you know them on a soul level, right? There's something about them that brings you something really great. You could meet them in a community, you could meet them through a bunch of friends, that's very possible, but it will just be really pleasurable, it will be really well enjoyed, and this will be the kind of person who you can be really silly and goofy with, but also really, really deep and spiritual. So don't seek to do that in the friendships, because you'll find that in the potential partner this week. All right. So whoever it is, and to give you a layer of this, whoever in the group that is also single, right, that you connect with, that you're able to be really silly and goofy and mundane with, but also get really deep and spiritual with, that's the person. That's how you know who it is, right? For your money and materials, I just want to mention the Lunar Lacuna is still open. It's rolling, right? So you can join at any time and you can leave at any time, all right? So the sign up and all of the good stuff about what it is and how to enjoy it and get the most out of it, manifesting with the moon, energy work and all of that good stuff, links in the description box below. Now, you got the Justice card for your money. When it comes to your money and materials, hold off on financial commitments this week, especially where you're signing on the dotted line, as he says, like, sign up for my Lacuna, give me your money. And he says, don't sign up for anything. When it comes to big financial purchases this week, when it comes to spending money on travel this week, especially long distance travel, double check your travel plans, double check your hotel, double check your flight. There's something here that you've not seen or is not as you think it is, and if you catch it now, it will save you a shitload of money. When it comes to those of you, when it comes to like a big purchase this week, this is not the week to put your name on the dotted line on a like a big purchase. Wait, all right. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, this is, I mean, it's the Hanged Man plus the Justice card, right? I'm not a doctor, I can't give you medical advice, this is not a diagnosis, but if you do have any problems internally this week or things that show up, have your kidneys checked before anything else, right? Especially because you've got the Hanged Man here as well, because there could be a hormonal imbalance due to a problem with the kidneys or a build-up in the body of some sort because of that, right? And this is how our bodies work, right? Sometimes if one part of us isn't functioning properly, something else kind of kicks in to say like, oh, okay, or it produces too much of something or too little of something to let us know, right? There is a problem and this is where it's coming from. Obviously, I'm not a doctor, this is not a diagnosis, but if you have anything, ask them to check there first. When it comes to your home and environment, again, wherever you're signing on the dotted line this week, I would just double check everything before you put your name to it. All right. With that said, let me know in the comments how it shapes up. I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Take care, and I'll see you soon.